Hello, great people. Welcome back to our channel. Something interesting is happening far back in the month of June, precisely June 12th. The senator you are seeing right now in this video made a very implicating statement against his wife, which has resulted to a court case. His name is Senator Ahmed Muhammad bulkachuwa. And he said during the valedictory session, when he was given an opportunity to speak, that's in the Ninth Synod, he opened up that he normally influenced the judgment of his wife. The wife is actually a former Court of Appeal president. That's Justice Zainab Adamu Bolkachuwa. But right now, the situation has gotten to a climax, which it can't be controlled again, and the situation of the senator might be very terrible right now, considering the fact that the court has given an order for him to be arrested. But then let's give you full details of what transpired in court and what may happen to him in the nearest future, which will be a warning to other people who are just talking anyhow. Now, according to the news, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has approved the arrest of Senator Ahmed Muhammad Bolkachua on Tuesday after he publicly revealed during a valedictory session held for the senators that he influenced the decision of the wife, Justice Zainab Adamu Bolkachua, who was a former Court of Appeal president. Justice Iyankwo held that the lawmaker has no right to influence the judgment of a judge. There had been call for Bolkachuwa's arrest after the lawmaker during the valedictory session of the Ninth Assembly said his wife, Justice Zainab, accepted my encroachment, that's his encroachment, and extended her help to his colleagues. In a viral video clip on June 12th, he said his wife assisted his colleague at the National Assembly as a serving judge. Bolkachua had later filed a suit seeking an order restraining anti-crime agency from inviting, interrogating, or arresting him, over which he said about influencing his wife's judgment. Bolkachua, through his lawyer, Mr. Donald Aibowu, in his originating summons before Justice Iyankwo, stated that the leadership of the Ninth Assembly did not allow him to fully speak during the valedictory session. Stories. His lawyer further claimed that his client's political opponent are now twisting the development to malign his reputation and that of his family. Most so, his lawyer argued that in line with Section 1 of the Legislative House's Power and Privileges Act 2017, only the Senate in session or any of its subcommittee has the disciplinary power to invite Bolgachua to answer any question relating to his conduct stroke utterance on the floor of the Nigerian Senate. The plaintiff therefore asked the court to declare that he is covered, privileged, and protected by the parliamentary immunity as enshrined in Section 1 of the Legislative House Power and Privileges Act 2017, and freedom of speech and expression made thereto is privileged. Attorney General of the Federation, the Clerk of the National Assembly, State Security Services, Independent Corrupt Practices, and other related agencies Commission, and Nigerian Police were listed as first to fit defendants. Amid the development, the retired justice had debunked the comment credited to the husband, saying she never favored any party during her time as a judge. But in his judgment on Tuesday, Justice Iyankwo held that the most rational interpretation of the statement made by Bolkachua was that it is contrary to the law. The answer is simple. He influenced his wife, Ekwa said, adding this is an act of corruption. Ekwa said the statement of the lawmaker is a confession of an irregular act that is subject to be investigated and prosecuted. The judge said the plaintiff is liable to be arrested based on his statement, adding that the National Assembly is not a place to hide any person who has committed a crime involving influencing the administration of criminal justice. I hold that these cases lack merit and ought to be dismissed. The case is dismissed. That was what happened in court today. When he made that statement, bulkachuwa immediately ran to the court to secure an order that he should not be arrested. And if he has spoken wrongly, it's only he should be dealt with by the House Committee as contained in one of the acts he mentioned, 2017, which says that if he has said anything bad, I'm trying to analyze here, that it can only be dealt with by the Senate itself or a committee of the Senate. But the court says what he said was not a joke. And right now, Nigerians have been calling for his head so much that he should be prosecuted. And every case that was handled by the wife should be reviewed, which I feel that is the ideal thing that should happen, because that was a clear display. I don't know if he was only trying to showcase his abilities and the privileges that he has, and brag about the capacity he has, not just in the Senate, but even in judiciary. So you can imagine if a man is a senator and at the same time has ability to influence the judiciary just because the wife had been, a key personality in the judiciary. The wife wasn't just an ordinary person. She was the president of appeal court, and that alone is enough to trigger anything, because imagine one being the president of appeal court. He has ability to do anything just for you if she accepts to submit herself to be influenced by the husband, irrespective of her professional ethics. Then we are seeing a future here in judiciary which is really awkward. And I feel that the judiciary itself, to redeem its image, must call for, possibly for all the cases the wife has handled, go through it, especially anyone that involves the senators. Go through it, whether it was a case of tribunal that was brought before the appeal court and all of that. Whatever case that she had ever handled, they need to invite all the documents to be brought, and they go through, the judicial precedents, that, or let me say the judgment, and put each of those judgments on trial to be sure that whatever judgment she passed was actually true, because that's the only way they can redeem back their image as judiciary. It was really, really out of place. But right now, I think what actually happened to him was the fear that he might be arrested, because based on what we have seen, he was a plaintiff in the case, bringing in the defendants, the soldiers, that is the army, the police, the civil society and all of that. She brought all those people in, that they should be prohibited from arresting him. But with what had just happened, I think the police can now do their duty, get him arrested, so that the right thing can be done. This is a way of restoring respect back. And I'm waiting to hear possibly what the senators will say, because for him to say he wasn't given enough time to talk about that issue, it's really it's like a child's play, because nobody forced you, nobody even put those words in your mouth. That being that your wife is a judge, how have you been handling issues of judgment, especially when it involves your colleague? Nobody asked him that question, but he just felt like, showing how much power he wields as not just a senator, but one who has the ability to influence the wife. Let's see what will be the next action against it. That's what we'd like to leave it. Let's meet in the comment section, talk more on these. What do you think would be the next line of action by the security agencies? Do you think that the DSS will call for his arrest?